A SharePoint library is the equivalent of an S drive folder, and you can create a SharePoint library to act as a team file storage space for you and your colleagues. In order to create a new SharePoint library, we're actually going to start in Microsoft Teams. If you and your colleagues who want to create a SharePoint library already have a team created in Microsoft Teams, then you're already halfway there. If, however, you and your colleagues have not yet created a team in Microsoft Teams, that will be your first step. To start things off, I'll open Microsoft Teams, I'll go to the Teams tab, and in the upper right, I will click on Join or Create Team. I will click on the Create Team button. I'll choose the Other category, and I'll give my team a name. You will want to make sure that your team name makes sense and is something that other people will be able to reference easily. Once you click the Next button, you will then be prompted to add members to your team. You can simply type in their email addresses and click on Add. You can also add members to your team at a later time. Once you're done, click on Close or Skip if you want to do it later. With your team now created, what you might not realize is in the background, Microsoft has created a SharePoint space for your team as well. To access that SharePoint space, we can go to OneDrive on the web, and in the upper left, click on the waffle icon and go to SharePoint. If you created your team in the past, you may see it listed here on the left-hand side. If, however, it's a relatively new team, you may not see it listed. If you don't, you can search for it at the top by typing in the name of the team. Once you find the team, you can click on it, and then in the upper right, make sure you click on the star so that you follow this team. That way you can easily reference to it later. Now that we have a SharePoint space for our team, the final step is to create an actual SharePoint library where you and your team members can store files. Technically, you could do this in the Documents area, but for reasons I don't want to get into right now in this video, it's usually a cleaner process if you just create a new library for you and your colleagues to store files. To do this, click on the New button, and then click on Document Library. For the library name, think of this as the name for a folder in the S drive, or just a general name for the storage space that you and your team members are going to use. For my example, I will use CPD Department Drive. I'll then click on Create. My SharePoint library has now been created, and my colleagues and I can now start using it to store our files.